OK，歡迎大家又嚟到收睇我哋越級38啦。咁啊，今日咧我哋好特別，我哋個話題咧就係飲杯先，
唔好講嘢，飲杯先。
冇錯啦 ，Cheers。
係啦。
咁啊，今日咧我哋好開心咧，就揾到阿 Cathy 咧嚟同我哋講解一下飲酒啦。咁啊 ，Cathy
其實咧，
就
我唔好意思啊，我就覺得咧飲酒咧，好多人覺得係好簡單嘅嘢嚟㗎。嗱，其實飲酒啦、朱古力啦、咖啡啦，呢啲係我哋日常生活幾時都會掂得到。咁好多人就會覺得係好普通嘅嘢嚟嘅啫。但係其實如果你想深究呢幾樣嘢咧，仲有芝士啦嚇，仲有好多。其實你想深究呢一樣嘢咧，係需要好長嘅練習啦、學問啦，同埋耐性啊。咁啊 Cathy 咧，其實咧就我哋真係好彩啦，因為佢咧係好資深嘅葡萄酒進口商啦，可以咁講嚇。同埋咧，佢咧係對飲酒咧就真係有一個好
深入嘅了解，
係啦，深入嘅了解，好獨特嘅睇法嘅。我自己咧細個飲酒嘅時候咧，唔覺咧就即係成日覺得自己咧飲少少就會好紅噶啦。咁但係有一次咧，我就喺香港嘅時候咧，去到山頂，咁就同我家姐一齊。咁我家姐係一個好識享受生活嘅人嚟㗎。咁佢嗌咗啲酒，我話：喂，點解呢支酒我飲一杯都唔紅嘅塊面？佢話：梗係啦，你平時飲嗰啲咧唔靚啊，唔純啊咁。我先知道原來貴同平咧就真係有一個分別嘅。咁但係當然啦，如果你識揀咧，就唔係淨係價錢咧可以去區分咧佢好唔好嘅。咁今日咧真係好開心啊！又唔該晒 Debbie 啦，嗱打晒佢嗰啲人情牌啦，咁就請到 Cathy 上嚟嘅。咁啊 Cathy，阿 Debbie 你都可以咧介紹多少少啊 Cathy 啦，因為我頭先好緊張，因為咧我好開心，我係好中意飲酒，但係屋企咧係冇人飲酒㗎，我老公唔飲，我老爺奶奶唔飲，咁有小朋友。跟住我妹又唔飲，咁啊我有其他兄弟姊妹，但係又唔係 Edmonton 嘅，咁啊從來冇人陪我飲酒嘅，咁自己一個飲咧都有嘅，但係好少咯。咁所以又同埋又我細路仔最細嗰個2歲啦，咁啊斷咗餵奶冇幾耐啦，咁飲日即係餵人奶嘅時候咧，其實飲酒係冇問題㗎，係冇問題㗎嚇。不過身邊有好多人同你講，唉最好唔好啦，又唔食得辣啦。即係好似咧，就話到俾你聽咧，你做乜嘢咧啱就係應該嘅，做唔啱咧，你就會害死你個 B 噶啦咁樣。咁所以咧係偷偷地飲啦，唔好俾人知啦咁樣。咁所以咧多謝 Cathy 又多謝 Debbie 今日咧帶咗阿 Cathy 上嚟啦。咁啊 Debbie 你可以再介紹多少少阿 Cathy 啦。我知道佢咧真係除咗資深之外咧，佢對飲酒咧係有啲情意結嘅。
咁啊 Cathy 咧就係好中意飲酒啦。咁啊，我唔詳盡去介紹佢啦，我諗佢自己去介紹佢自己俾大家識咧，咁就係最好噶啦。咁啊 Cathy 咧就已經有好多年喺即係酒呢一方面嘅品嚐咧，佢已經有好多年嘅經驗噶啦。咁
不如先問 Cathy 你係點樣開始入對呢樣嘢有一個興趣咧
？Okay, so 用英文 okay? Is better?
Yeah. Cathy,
okay.
you can speak in English. No
okay,
problem.
Great. Hello, everyone. I'm Cathy. I work for a company called Nobilis Import. I started because my family has always had a restaurant business since I was born. So all I know in my whole life is the restaurant industry, behind the scenes, in front of the house, service. I started serving my first table when I was 7. I started peeling potatoes and chopping carrots when I was 8. And then I started taking cash at the till when I was 9. So it was kind of promotion since grade 2 all the way up. And then
咁你好叻㗎咯喎，因為通常咧嗱，我老公都係喺restaurant 長大，佢係通常都係由洗碗開始㗎。你可以 skip 咗7歲就可以落單啦。咁你應該係一個好識得同人溝通嘅人嚟㗎啦，咁細個就已經可以，咁亦都係因為你屋企係做餐館，所以你對酒自然多咗認識啦。
That's later, yeah. That's because just from learning everything in the business, then it was about food, and then learning about food, and then when I got into wine, it was about, oh, this wine goes well with this food. So I like to eat. I don't cook like a chef, but I love to eat it. So my brain works like if I eat something like fish with a buttery sauce, I instantly think of a a certain white wine to drink with that fish. If I have a steak with a mushroom sauce, then I instantly know what wine will pair well with that steak and mushroom sauce. Like that's how my brain works. So then I realized after that, it's like, maybe I don't need to work in the restaurant side. Maybe I should see what I can do, just focus on the alcohol side. So I met a lot of restaurant owners, and then they introduced me to different people that were in the industry as well. And then I just started communicating. And once they talked to me, they said, yeah, this could be a good fit because you're not shy, you're good with speaking, and you enjoy talking about food and wine. So maybe you should look into it. So then I started working at some of the liquor stores and managing the liquor stores, like Liquor Select on the west side of Edmonton. I was working there for a couple of years. And then after that, a couple of agents started coming up to me and saying, are you interested in doing the import-export side of it? And I said, I never thought about it, but I love anything to do with wine. Doesn't matter. So then they said the next step would be go get some wine education, right? Because once you get that, then you'll have that certification. That kind of gives you the license. Whereas the server is called ASIP, right? So yes. ASIP is what you need to work in the industry to serve. So we have that too.
最簡單嘅，最 basic 嘅。
Yeah, so that's anyone who serves anything that's food or hospitality related. You have to take that. So we have that, of course, every 3 years I have to retake it. But once you get into wine school, the school is the same thing. It's like a program. So 2 years, and it starts off with basics, which we'll do a little bit today. And then it gets into more detail by countries, by dirt, geography, all the soils, like really boring stuff. Like I've even tasted dirt from the wineries because you're supposed to, you're supposed to really break it down. So that stuff is really boring. But the fun stuff is just the 4 S's, which we'll touch upon when we talk about the basics of wine tasting.
好 interesting
喺 Edmonton 係啦，真係好得意。即係我哋唔在行咧，就係識得飲同埋飲啦咁樣，都係飲。咁啊，我想知道如果睇片嘅朋友觀眾有興趣想去學下 Edmonton 有冇 wine education 嘅咧
？There's some around. It's harder to find now, but because of COVID, of course. Most of it is online, which is harder because a lot of it you have to supply the wine to study. So that can be very expensive for, one person doing it. So when we went through it, I did this 16 years ago. So I look older. So drink wine. It keeps you young. It keeps you young.
你一出世就學，一出世2歲，你睇你都係18歲到啫。
Yeah, I'm in my 40s. I have 2 children. So, but you should drink wine. It keeps us youthful and not a lot, just a glass a day for women, and half a glass for men is good enough. That's all we need.
真係㗎？咁就公平啦，男人飲
Mostly red. Red wine is better. Red wine is better for circulation than white wine. White wine is for fun. Red wine is more for the actual benefits.
即係一日飲一杯紅酒。
Yeah.
男人就飲半杯好啦。
Yeah.
係咯，唔飲都得㗎，佢哋。
冇俾
or drink a whiskey, something to make their blood circulate too. Whiskey. That's why a lot of men tend to drink whiskeys and scotches. And bourbons, because one of those, they're good. They get their blood flowing.
Okay. 因為我想其實嚟緊上次咧，我哋都有講過前2集，我都講過升學嘅問題嘛。咁如果有朋友仔讀完中學出嚟做下嘢，就唔知道自己嘅方向嘅時候，或者佢哋話我可以接觸下呢樣嘢，因為呢樣嘢其實唔係咁普遍嘅，即係好多人都唔知道原來可以嘅。有啲老人家咧就會，你一飲酒咧就嗌你走鬼㗎啦。咁所以咧都可以，大家都可以咧去睇下，
揾下呢啲
係啦，揾下
資料。
雖然而家 pandemic 咧就比較難，但係我相信咧希望啦嚇，嚟緊2022年啦，應該都可以全部嘢咧可以係恢復翻我哋之前嘅嗰一個 嗰個進度㗎啦。咁啊，可能咧到時咧，因為 wine tasting 我諗都係，因為你都要成班人一齊試酒，學你話齋仲要試泥添。咁你一個人試唔到泥㗎嘛，係咪？
Like for example, if we're in one class together right now and we have to study online, we all have to buy one bottle to try it at home and study the same bottle together. So that's 3 bottles, which we usually have to study 6 to 9 bottles for the exam, you know? So how are you going to drink 9 bottles on a daily to study hard, right? To learn about it. So if it's in person, as a group, we meet the whole class. Sometimes I do, you know, we used to meet like 10 or 12 students in the class. We say, hey, let's all go study. And then we assign everyone the 1 bottle down the list. And so everyone buys a bottle at $20 or whatever. And then we bring it all to the one place and we open it and we bring our own cheese.
Buy it all together.
Whatever. Yeah. And then we kind of do a shared study session, right? But with wine.
呢啲堂我都想上啊，仲要帶埋啲字。我原嚟我哋自己係啦，我哋自己咧自己搞一個啊，第日即係呢啲我唔會 skip 堂啊，一定準時出席。
我係一個好勤力嘅學生嚟㗎啦，會係。
聽到都開心。
And earlier you were talking about some people getting red, like you took a sip and then you would be red. It's just an enzyme. Unfortunately, it is a part of the Asian gene. We call it the Asian enzyme. So if you have it, then you're basically going to turn red and uncomfortable and hot. If you don't have it, like me, then you can drink and nothing happens.
Lucky.
你真係好 lucky， 因為我發覺咧，我係譬如全部有氣嘅咧，我係一定唔得嘅。啤酒飲到個樽頸咧，我係已經紅晒㗎啦。同埋咧就係唔想飲㗎啦，所以根本我唔會 enjoy 到嘅。咁然後咧就係 cooler 咧，嗰啲 cooler 甜嗰啲咧，我更加唔使啦。不過我飲 hard liquor， 學你頭先話 whisky 啦，即係其他啲酒 gin， 係啦。vodka 嗰啲我 OK 嘅，我可以飲多少少，即係一般人飲咁多，譬如我飲2杯，咁我都仲 OK 嘅，即係我會紅，但係我唔會話唔想飲啊，唔開心啊，唔會即係唔會有咁樣嘅唔舒服嘅感覺咯。咁所以咧 wine 咧係某幾隻嘅啫，唔係全部嘅。咁所以我都好揀擇㗎，我飲酒。仲揀擇過揀男朋友同老公。
Practice makes perfect. That's it.
真㗎，咁我要，咁係我懶啊！我諗我太懶啦，我真係要俾啲心機試多啲。我一箱箱咁入先得啊！要。
Yeah, when COVID is over, we should definitely meet and have a little.
一定要。到時咧，我哋即係自己空姐個。
Yeah,
請我哋啲係啦，請我哋啲觀眾啊，上嚟啊，我哋一齊開個少少嘅品酒會，係啦，上堂啊，我哋品酒101。
Sounds good。
咁啊 ，Cathy 可以再介紹多啲酒俾我哋認識下而家。
Okay, well, you want to talk about just the basics of wine, like how to drink it?
好啊。
Okay, so there's something called 4S. Say go S, okay? So the first thing is sight, right? So you look at it, just looking, right? Like, is it white? Is it red? Is it clear? Is it kind of dark? Is it hazy? That's all. It's just part of the steps we take, right? Then the second one is swirl. You swirl that because think about the bottles the wine has been stuck in the bottle for, I don't know, since they were grapes, pressed in, right? So sometimes it's just good to give it a little swirl. If you're not good at it yet, you put it on the table and then make an O shape. Make an O shape. But once you're good at it, then you can start doing little O's in the air. Just pick one direction always. That's it. Just a couple swirls. Air goes in, swirls, lets the wine kind of breathe. And then the third S, smell, right? So most people just kind of do this, but you know what? Literally just get your face in there, right? So this part of the glass should be about here, and then the bottom is right under your nose. So the whole thing is get in there. Because if you try smelling it like this versus, right? You really get different layers. But if you go like this, you'll smell wine, right? But if you really go in there, and
你真係
smell.
可以聞到佢嗰個酒嗰個味道。
Yeah. So then for like when I went like this, I smell apple, maybe, you know, a little bit of white wine smell. But when I get in there, I smell like papaya, tropical fruits, pineapple. You know, it's more fragrant, right? Then I break down the smells, and there's never a wrong answer. Just of course, if you say like cherries, that's a wrong answer because you're drinking a white wine. It's not cherry, but let's try. You know, then you go, oh, I don't think there's cherries, but maybe cranberry. You know, more sour, right? So you know what I mean? Like you can break it down that way. So you have to, obviously, you wouldn't say there's like leather and tobacco and all those other red wine characters in a white wine, right? So that's where you're just analyzing it, right? And then of course the favorite, the fourth S is sipping it. So then you sip.
等咗好耐。
飲晒啦。
So a lot of people do that weird sucking. Again, that's just getting air in because you swirl, you get it in, and it really opens up in your mouth. And that takes practice too. And there is a fifth one, which is spit, right? So that's usually for our industry because we're tasting a lot of wines during the day and I have to drive all around. So I'm not going to drink everything I taste. So we're very good at spitting it and aiming. But of course, with COVID now, we try not to spit too much. We just swallow it. Or just don't sample. Don't taste it. Just talk about it.
頭先你話轉佢係用 one direction， 如果有人轉完一邊又再轉咧 ，is there gonna make a difference in taste?
No, but it's weird turning it the other way because normally you're only gonna do one way, and then it's weird if you're trying to
Rewind it.
rotating your wrist, right? If you rotate one way, why would you rotate the other way? It's weird. So the wine would probably look sloppy too. That's all. But no, it doesn't matter because I've done that on the table this way, and then I've done it the opposite way. It's okay. Yeah, but I would say use a table first until you're good at it, and don't fill it up so much. Just fill it up a little bit. When you serve wine to people, never go all the way to the top. Always start off just about a third of a glass. Just count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and then stop. Next person, 1, 2, 3, and then stop. Because one bottle usually serves 5 regular portions. If you're heavier drinkers, then 4 people. If you're my friends and myself, 3 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever go on my Instagram, you'll always see lineups of wine. That's always in one night, right? And Debbie has been to a couple of those, and she's seen one night just hanging out in the lineup. Yeah, it's like 12 bottles. Yeah.
Okay, Cathy, 你係我嘅 new best friend, okay?
Okay, sounds good. I hear that a lot, and I like it. I always could use more friends. Wine brings people together, though. I mean, there's nothing better than just opening a bottle of wine, having good conversation, and
Trying it.
Kick your feet up and relax and just enjoy what's in the bottle and enjoy your company in front of you, which is one of the saddest things with COVID, because this is my whole world, and online it's not the same when you can sit there and talk about it and sample it with someone versus doing it like this and you can't taste what I'm tasting.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
So 如果有人係新嘗試飲酒嘅，你會介紹佢係由乜嘢開始飲起？係咪應該由 white 開始飲起啊？
Usually, yes. White or rosé. So, for example, what I am drinking is, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Can you see a little bit? I'm trying not to get the glare, but it's
Camarsac.
Camarsac
is the chateau name. Oh, I guess if we could see it, let me pick a better bottle. We can maybe try to read the label.
隨手就可以攞到幾支唔同嘅酒㗎啦。
Yeah, so Camarsac is the title, okay? And then it says, is this backwards for you guys?
No.
Okay, no.
Okay.
2016.
So 2016 just means that's when they bottled it in here. And then Bordeaux is where it's from, which is a region in France, right? And then just on this part is the Terry Lerton, and that's just the winemaker or the person, like the chateau's owner's name. So Camarsac.
So Camarsac is the brand name?
The brand, yeah. So this castle is called Camarsac. I was actually here last year, which is really nice. So it's under construction, and they'll host parties and tastings and weddings if you want. You can go there and and visit, and then their wine stuff is on one side, and then they have a hotel on the other side. Yeah.
我哋啲普通人可唔可以去 book 到嗰度㗎？定係淨係 for？ Oh yeah.
Yes. And here's a trick. You can, if you know people like myself or liquor store owners that you're really good friends with, and you happen to say, oh, by the way, I'm going to Kelowna, or I'm going to Niagara, or I'm going to Napa, wherever, right? Do you know where I should go? And do you know anyone who can help me make plans, or any agents that can help send me to the winery? So for example, since you know me, if you happen to go to Bordeaux, I can book it for you, and then you will get a VIP treatment. It's different. It's totally different from pedestrian. Very different.
唔怪得知你咁多朋友啦，呢啲朋友真係要 keep 好耐先得。
Yeah, it's hard.
Forever.
It was my first trip though last year, so I had the ultimate insider VIP. So I saw what some people really got to see when they go to wineries. It's amazing. So it was a good experience. So now I know what it's like to have the VIP treatment and what it's like just to go to like Kelowna or Napa and just do the regular bookings. It's very different. Yeah.
咁你而家將呢個 trick 話咗俾咁多人聽咧，呢條片出咗街，你會又會多好多朋友㗎啦。
If you go to my wineries, it's okay. If you go to the company that I represent, then that's okay. We're happy to set it up for sure. Yeah. But anyone, because I have no Canadian wines, I have very little US wines. So if you want to do something Canadian, I really can't help because I don't represent any Canadian wine. So anything that I represent, no problem. We can always try
而家
our
唔
best.
飛得啫，遲啲好快脆就去邊度都飛得㗎啦。
Yeah, yeah.
咁好啊，嗱呢一節咧就多謝 Cathy 先，下一節翻嚟咧，我哋再研究講多啲頭先講咗白酒啦，或者我哋可以講下紅酒啊，其他 Cathy 對酒有啲乜嘢特別嘅見解啦。Thank you，
可以
下一節見。
佢再講下咧一啲係佢公司嘅出嘅酒啊，我哋可以睇下點樣品嚐下第日。咁啊，下次再同你見。
下一節再
Okay,
傾。
sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
如果大家對飲酒、品酒或者頭先我哋所講嘅 topics 有興趣嘅話咧，可以喺下邊留言俾我哋。咁咧，我哋就會同 Cathy 講一聲，咁咧再邀請佢嚟咧，同大家解答多啲有關飲酒、品嚐美酒嘅問題㗎啦。記住 subscribe 同埋 share 俾你嘅朋友。